questions?
We've got answers.
Tune in Tuesdays at 12 on Facebook Live and Instagram Live, where we will be hosting a variety of community experts that will answer your questions.
Hello, beautiful ones. We are going to have a panel of Beautiful Self Tribe members who are metastatic. They're going to share some stories, we're going to have some laughs, we're going to get real and answer some questions.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tip Tuesday. I will say this is a pre-recorded Tip Tuesday because of our schedules. So we wanted to make sure we all could come together because this is a very special show. It is Jillian.
And Michelle.
And a few weeks back, we brought in this amazing group of women who shared their metastatic stories with us. And what we saw was that the community as a whole came together so strong for that show that we wanted to not only bring back these wonderful women, but also have them share something that they started, something very excited and wonderful that they're working on. So I do want to say that we have our returning rock stars, Elisa. Hello. Kathy.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, but we are also joined by Janelle, another Beautiful Self alumna and metastatic warrior. Janelle, thank you so much for being here.
Hi.
We are so happy you're here. So I'm going to ask you, not to put you on the spot, but just very quickly, if you can tell us a little bit about who you are and your journey with metastatic.
Sure. First, I want to say thanks for having me. I'm a little nervous, but I'm sure it'll pass. So I was diagnosed originally with breast cancer at 24. I was stage 2B. I went through surgery. I froze my eggs. I went through chemotherapy, more surgery. And then I was good for about a year, went back to normal life. And then I was diagnosed in 2012 with metastatic. I had some biopsies. I've been on a few different chemo drugs. Had some more surgeries. I had to have my ovaries removed because it was just feeding my cancer cells. And, I learned a lot with the second diagnosis over the first one. So now it's been since 2012. So it's going on, that many years with metastatic and just, getting my checkups and going on the drugs until they decide to stop working and, connecting with wonderful people like the people on your panel. And
Janelle, I just want to say really quickly that, you're going on 10 years pretty much, right? In metastatic world. So I just think that's such an amazing number because you had to start this journey so young, right?
Yes.
And we're definitely going to pop over to say hi to Elisa and Kathy. But I think that people hear metastatic and they immediately put a number like, oh my God, this is it. This is my number and it's happening now. And here you are, you just got married. You're 10 years later. I'm not saying life is easy. I know what you have to go through on the daily, but it's a beautiful number. And thank you for sharing that with us. So I can't wait to hear more from you. And by the way, I do want to say one thing so stands out with Michelle and I. When you came to Beautiful Self, we weren't really even a nonprofit yet. You just came like Elisa did to Michelle's house. And it was early in our time. And I didn't understand because I was still in radiation. I didn't understand everything that was going to happen after. I didn't, to be honest with you at the time, even know what metastatic was, because when you're so early in it, you don't think of those things. Anyway, having said that, we took a picture of you. Michelle turned it around and showed you the picture and you went, oh, and your eyes filled up with water because, first of all, you're such a babe. You're so beautiful.
Well,
and that picture still, and that moment, I know it still sticks with us. So in advertising the show, we put that picture up because that picture to us is just everything we stand for. When you saw yourself and how stunningly beautiful you are and everything you had been through, it was a moment, and we still love her. So we're so proud and happy to have you as a Beautiful Self alumna. So thank you. And we're going to come. Yeah, we're going to come back and chat a little bit more with you. But Lisa, just to remind everybody now, could you just give us a quick refresh on yourself?
Oh, sure. I was initially diagnosed in 2012 with stage 3B breast cancer. Actually, that's when I met Janelle. Same thing, radiation, chemotherapy, hormone therapy afterwards. And then I was re-diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer in 2019. So now I am going through a lot of what Janelle has gone through, changing medicines and keeping changing stuff until it works, as long as it works. So it's been a little rough, it's a bit of a roller coaster, but that's about it.
Okay. And thank you, by the way, for being here bald.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I think that you're so stunning bald. And I think that people don't realize that with metastatic, this is an on and off thing now. It's going to be an on and off. Sometimes you're going to be bald. Sometimes your hair is going to be there. So the fact that you come out bald to me is so like fabulous. I'm not going to say the word brave. I don't like the word brave because I think everyone is, is different, is brave to different people. I think it's fabulous. That's the word I'm going to use because you look so sexy and we see that gorgeous face. So
thank you. I mean, I'm trying. I'm in a period of acceptance of the baldness right now. So I'm working on just saying, you know what? There are people that look like me right now. And, everybody would be like, oh, you can get a wig. You can do, and I'm like, I don't need to get a wig. A wig is not me.
No, the wig is for them. It's not for you.
Yeah, I think so too. And I found myself even saying, like, when my kids' friends come over, like, do you think they feel bad because I'm bald? Like, they'll whatever. And then my kids are like, it's okay. It doesn't matter. It's, they're awesome too. So thank you.
Bald is beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay. And Miss Kathy, how you doing over there?
Oh, doing wonderful.
You said you had a tough morning.
I feel like my thought process, my brain isn't catching up speed with me this week. It's my on week of medicine. And first of all, thank you for having me back. And it's lovely to see all you ladies. A recap for me, let's see. I started off 2015 with stage 2, had a bilateral mastectomy, had some lymph nodes removed from the left. I think my treatment lasted 3 months or so, and I had no radiation. And then it returned to 2017, and I am currently 3 and a little over 3.5 months of living with stage 4. And I'm on my 3rd medicine. I've exhausted all my hormone therapies, and now I'm on to chemo.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. You look amazing. You are just a bundle of joy and energy, and shooting with you a beautiful self was so spectacular because you just came in. So I want to say the word is an innocence when you first really realize how beautiful that you actually are, because, cancer kind of tells us that we're not. So when we watch all of you like see yourselves, it's really exciting. So thank you for sharing yourself again with us. That's to all of you. Thank you for sharing yourself on so many levels. And before we chat, because I have some questions we'd like to ask you ladies. Elisa, please tell us, because you all started a metastatic breast cancer support group. And I just want to know why you started it. What is it? Who can join and how? And if you forget along the way, because we all said we're having one of those kind of mornings, I will ask you questions, but give us the lowdown.
Well, I guess since I've been diagnosed metastatic, I guess it was something. I feel like cancer in general is a kind of learn as you go experience. And I didn't know anything about cancer. I never knew anybody with cancer. I never had a family member with cancer. So I guess the reason why I wanted to start a group is because I want to share what I'm learning, and I want to share and get information out there for anybody who feels like they just don't know. A lot of times there are medications, there are studies going on, there are a lot of things that are happening in the metastatic world that kind of go beyond, the Ibrance commercial that's on TV. So to me, it was kind of a way of finding myself in this situation where I couldn't work. I'm, looking for somewhere to volunteer my time. And I really felt like this was the way to do it. And to be somewhere, excuse me, a group. It'll be housed on Facebook. It'll be a public, page for anybody, because I think a lot of people want to be educated about it, and they don't realize until they see how much, or they realize how much they don't know, that they want to know more. So it'll be a public group, anybody can join. We will just share as much information as we can, be somewhere where someone can come and, you know, express what's happening and what's going on with them and talk to somebody. And I just want it to be a place where everybody can come and use as a resource, and women who do, or men who have metastatic breast cancer, can come and find other people that won't ever ask them why they're angry or why they're crying.
I think that's amazing. And I think it's so phenomenal that you're taking time to do that, because it's a lot, not only to take on in the fact that, okay, I have to physically monitor this and physically be in contact and be the admin and do all this stuff and make sure we're on top of it. But it's also, I think people don't realize, as much as we all support each other, it's also emotionally very draining to live in that space when other people who are going through what you're going through are coming at you, and you're like, maybe you're having a bad day. So it is emotionally draining, but it's also emotionally supportive. It's kind of like that interesting double-edged sword. So
I find that for me, despite whatever I'm going through, I feel better. I feel better when someone calls me and says, oh my gosh, I'm just having such a bad day, and I shouldn't complain to you because you're going through the same thing, or you're having a problem, or, you know, you have bigger things to worry about. I don't feel that way. I'm not, it's never a bother for me.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
For me,
and I don't mean bother. I think I meant more like, it's a lot emotionally. It's a
no,
lot coming at
I know,
you.
I understand, but I'm just saying myself, I just don't ever feel bothered.
Good.
To me, to help, it makes me feel good. So
Well,
that's
fabulous.
what I'm hoping to provide.
Okay, awesome. So, Michelle, so everyone can just go if they're interested, and it'll be housed under Beautiful Self, correct?
Right. Well, absolutely. We have a dedicated page called Resources and Conversations. And right in there, as of now, it's Tribal Council. And we have the support group right at the top. And that's going to be a direct link to the group or the page, wherever these ladies decide it's going to live, under the beautifulself.org bubble. And we are so honored to be able to provide the service to our community, with our community. Yes, girls.
Yeah.
So we will become, you can always go to our website in order to find links to whatever we're doing. Exactly.
Fabulous. So thank you so much.
And I love the name of Working Strong.
Thank you.
That's what you ladies are doing.
Absolutely. It is. It's, there's just so much, and I can't wait. Even though I'm not metastatic, I'm excited to see what, to talk to people in the group and see what happens, because there are a lot of people that support that might just want to be also in the group, so they know better how to support the community. So, I want to ask you ladies, I want to move on, and ask you kind of some hot button questions about things that are happening right now, or ways that you can help other people in the community. And let me ask you, Janelle, what words of wisdom from first diagnosis, right, to the second one do you have? Like, is there something you wish you had known, or some advice you can give someone who's going through it right now, who's finding out they're getting their second diagnosis? Anything you feel important?
Yeah, that's a good question. The biggest thing for me is that, like, you're your best advocate. Sorry. You know, that was a big thing that I learned through the first to the second. You know, the first one, I just did what the doctors told me. I didn't get a second opinion. I just, you know, it was all about the physical, like getting through it, getting back to normal, and then being done. With the second, it was like a click in my head of like realization of, you know, like, I'm allowed to go get a second opinion. It's not insulting. It's not, you know, it doesn't make me look bad. It makes me look like I care about my health the most, you know, which I should be. That should be number one. You know, so like, your feelings are more important than, you know, the doctors. And, you know, I love all the doctors I've seen, but like, it's okay to go get a second opinion, a third opinion, a fourth. It's not just about what the doctors are saying. It's about the connection with the doctor, about, you know, what other resources and connections they're going to give you. And honestly, like, to push for what you think you need. Like, I had to push for my scan to get diagnosed the second time. I wouldn't leave the doctor's office without a prescription for it, you know? So being able to learn that I'm my advocate was amazing for me.
That is interesting because it is the first time you're so in shock. I think you just take whatever folders, because they hand us those big books with calendars and appointments, and we go, oh, okay. And then we don't even question, well, we do, but not like really question.
Yeah.
So, okay, Kathy, same question, like from first diagnosis to second, what is something you wish you would have known, or maybe some advice you could give someone who's going through it now?
The first time around, like I said, everything's just quick. You move on. I honestly didn't know anything about metastatic cancer because I went, I keep moving forward. I'm not going to look back. And in the beginning, I wish the doctors, I know they said there's a 30% chance, but I wish they would have told me more detail, like, this is how you may feel if you have pain here. Like more specific symptoms would have been nice to know, instead of, because I didn't brush things off. I'm very much aware of my body and I addressed everything, but it didn't work out that way.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying don't ignore. So if you could go give someone advice, you're saying kind of like Janelle, yes, fight for it, be your own advocate, but you're also saying don't brush off the symptoms.
No.
Because we kind of do get to a point where we're like, oh, this is normal.
Yeah.
This is normal.
Because I did this last week, or,
Mm-hmm.
The second time around, I went through a lot of, what did I do wrong? Was I not healthy enough? Did I not exercise? Did I not eat enough organic? What did I do right?
Mm-hmm.
And when people ask you, like, oh, did you keep up with your appointments? Of course I did. I have never missed a thing. But it feels as if people look at you sometimes as if like you did something wrong. And I know they don't mean it that way, because people just have a whole bunch of love for you. But don't blame yourself. You go through a period of shock and then trying to find answers, what I could have done.
Right.
But what you keep doing is just keep on moving forward.
You know what? I love that. And because I think that also we've met so many people through Beautiful Self, and so many of the women are like, I was the healthiest person in the world. I didn't eat sugar. I didn't do this. I ran every day. I was aware of my body. So, but you're right. Well-meaning people do come at you with, well, just eat kale all day, take down this, that, do that. And you're like, so you do start to take on that guilt. So be your own advocate for sure. Ask a lot of questions. Don't brush things off, and don't beat yourself up because it came back, is what you're saying.
Everybody has the cancer gene, and I'm just, something ignites it. And unfortunately, we don't know what.
I know. Okay. Well, thank you. And Elisa, I'm going to switch and ask you a different question, because you brought up something, and I think that this is a very hot topic for metastatic women. And that is that I want to know your insights about going back to work or not, because for some women, that's not a choice. Like, they have to go back to work. So if you do, like, what's your experience? Do you have any advice for making those decisions, or how to get through it if you feel sick and you can't get to work, but you need the money?
Yeah. I had a hard time, not working. It was hard for me not to be able to leave the house every day and just be able to go and do my usual thing. And despite having, I have a couple sources of income and it worked out okay, and I had planned easily, I still needed that interaction to go and get up and go work. So I would say this probably, it does pertain to metastatic, to my metastatic status, because it happened and probably very close to COVID time. And that's kind of what pushed me into going on disability, but it was a very, very difficult decision for me to make. You have to get up, like, when I was on hormone therapy and I didn't feel good, but I still had to get up and go, and you have to make choices. And then I think that brings in the guilt as well. Like, what am I choosing? Am I choosing to, now I'm worried about money, or am I now worried about, going to feel guilty because I'm not taking care of myself the way I should, and I have to go to work and I have bills to pay. So it was a very difficult thing. I'm on disability now. But that was more kind of related to COVID. But for me, it just not going back to work didn't seem like an option. I've always worked. I think that, you know, I was raised in a time where women were working, and we started working and being away from the home, and then you start needing that for yourself, to be away and work. And I think it made it really difficult to choose between my health and my bills. You know,
Right.
it was kind of hard.
Did you find that there was any help out there? So let's say someone has to go back to work. Did you find there was any help or avenues they could turn to, or that you turned to make your decision, or did you just do it by yourself?
I really just did it by myself. I just, and I think that that's just the way I operate. You know, personally, I just always taken stuff on my own. I'm a first child of, you know, first generation American. I'm first generation American. You know, I taught myself everything. So I think it's just in my personality and my character to do that. But I would definitely say that I wish I had looked out for resources, that I probably would have been, you know,
Right.
chemo brain.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Well,
I would have,
go ahead.
yeah, I've been like eligible for. I was a single mom at the time, you know, so
I do think in relation to what you're saying, we've had a few social workers on from different hospitals, and this is exactly what their job is, to help you navigate these types of decisions. So I know you said you did it alone, and I know a lot of people do it alone because they're strong, they do it, like, get it done. And some are not that personality. So I would say hit up your oncology social worker, because they can probably help you navigate a lot of these decisions and where to go. So Janelle, I'm going to ask you, I think this is such an interesting question, and it was posed by the group to me. So I'm going to push it back at you guys. And that is, you know, they say that something really traumatic has to happen before we push ourselves to do something new or reinvent ourselves. So I want to know, have you at all reinvented yourself? And if so, like, how did you mentally or even physically get yourself to that point where you said, well, this is it, and now I'm going to have to do this?
Yeah. I definitely think I reinvented myself. With the first diagnosis, it was, again, like, my mind wasn't in it at first. It was like, you know, I was 24, I was, you know, working, I was, you know, living life as a 24-year-old. And, you know, I just had to get through the physical, and then my life was going to be back to normal. That's what my mentality was. It was completely wrong. And I wish someone had, like, you know, slapped me in the face and told me that. But, you know, so then with the second diagnosis, it just, like, gave me that opportunity to, like, to stop and look at it, like, to stop and look at, like, you know, kind of reinvent my purpose, like, reinvent, you know, what matters to me, like, you know, just going to work, like, just to go to work, like, isn't necessarily important to me, like, unless I'm doing something that's, like, valuable, that's purposeful, that's giving back, that's, you know. So, like, I've found opportunities to volunteer like crazy, like, whether it's in the cancer community, whether it's with children with cancer, in all sorts of aspects, like, you know, where Lisa and I met at Gilda's Club, like, you know, it was just like, it was a huge part of me. And then just letting myself, you know, not let the little things bother me, and try to, like, push that on to other people, especially, like, I worked retail when I was working through cancer, and, like, you know, customers that come into retail can be, like, crazy, and it's like, just to give them, like, a few words to just let them calm down, like, you know. But I definitely would say reinvented myself. It's just more about, like, looking at my values and really, like, putting them into play, like family and, you know, my husband, and, you know, seeing the world, not just to see the world, but to meet new people, to see, like, how things are done. And, like I said, to volunteer is huge.
That's amazing. And I think that it's a matter of just kind of, you wake up, any kind of diagnosis, I think, does wake people, well, not all, but wake people up, you know, and say, oh, all right. And I love, because we hear this all the time. And, you know, I had my own experience, and with Michelle, we're like, how do you get back? How do you get back? What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? You do kind of flip that. And that is a reinvention, because it's even a mental and emotional reinvention that happens. So it's really beautiful. And how about you, Kathy? Did you find that did you reinvent, or did you just switch things around? Like, what was your process on this?
In the beginning, you know, well, with the first diagnosis, same thing as Janelle. Like, I did not think about it at all. I didn't know anything. Well, not that I didn't know anything. I didn't care to know anything. And I just put it behind me, went back to work, went back to life. Second time around, it was just, at first, I sorry about my slow process here.
That's okay. That's chemo brain. It's your first day of meds. You're allowed. This is real life in the metastatic community. So with the second time around, did you find that you felt this need to reinvent in some way, or did you just look at life differently?
I looked at life differently. I'm still the same. I'm still the same, but just a better version of myself. And oh my goodness.
Oh, it's okay. It's real. Listen, this is why y'all started the metastatic group, because this is real. So don't worry about it.
Your chemo brain.
It's real.
Has kids.
Yeah, come on.
She's remodeling her kitchen.
She's got a lot going on. It's all right, Kathy. We're not gonna pick on you today, Kathy. But basically, I'm understanding. You know what? Let me decipher, because I think what you're saying is you didn't necessarily. It wasn't some big reinvention. It was just a new way of looking at yourself and a new way of looking at approaching life. Right? All the littler things mattered in a way. Is that what you?
Yeah.
I pulled it out of your brain.
It took a high school classmate that passed away. Me like change my views. I'm like, why am I waiting for the other shoe to drop? You know, I'm here, and not every day may be good, but I'm here and I love life. So I just enjoy every little aspect of it. Even when I'm annoyed and mad and cursing, I, enjoy it all, other than the, 3-month appointment, the scan appointment. I don't. And a holiday. Okay, I'm going to keep going now. Now I'm like chatty Kathy.
No, I love it. You're like, oh wait, I'm in. I got it. Well, this time always goes so fast, and I want to get one more question in, and I'm going to ask Elisa a question. I want to ask you, because we're going to do these shows a lot more, because we just love talking to the metastatic community, because quite frankly, the survivorship and metastatic community don't have a lot of support, not like actually when you're fighting it. So we're so happy to have this kind of as a portal to the community. But this is a very hot topic. And I'll ask you quickly, Elisa, like, has COVID impacted your life when dealing with metastatic?
Oh my gosh.
And any advice?
Advice, I'm not sure about advice, but it has really impacted me. To be, you're in treatment, you are immune compromised to begin with. So my doctor just like shut me down. She's like, you have to stay home. You cannot work. I worked with the, public, and you cannot work. And that was a heartbreaker for me. It was terrible. And to feel like I'm just sitting here, waiting for everything to pass, it's lonely. It's kind of like, everybody's on guard anyway, but I just feel like, I have like a bubble around me, and I have to just be super careful and don't get infected, and don't, and I actually did end up having COVID. So that was in itself just, it was a crazy experience, but at the same time, I think I actually came through it very well, but I refused to let it just kind of get me down and be sad. But it's been hard. It's very isolating. And I think when you have metastatic breast cancer, just the experience emotionally, it's a very lonely place to be sometimes. Just wondering questions that you have about your health, about how long you're going to live, about, all those things. And then to be just wasting time you know, I feel good now, and now I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. I can't travel. I can't see my family. So that was
So
hard.
it is. So, okay. And that's the reality of it, right? That's the
Mhm.
reality of it. So I do want to say, kind of as we come to a close, that there is so much love and support out there. So if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling afraid, if you are metastatic, this is the most amazing group of women, Lisa, that you're bringing together. So please come join the group. You'll get more information as the group gets rolling. I know it's going to be a wonderful, non-judgmental, fun, loving
Right.
support group. And it is a tough time with COVID. So please reach out to your oncology social worker. Please reach out to groups that can support you. And, ladies, I just want to say thank you so much. I know chemo brain is real. I know a lot of you are at your med cycle. So you're like, Kathy, you're like, wait, what? But
Thank
we
you.
love you for sharing. We love you for being so real. And I know that this is just the beginning of something fabulous. And we're going to keep going and bringing you back for shows. So thank you so much for your time
Thank
this
you.
morning. We adore you. We love you. And I just want to say to everyone, as always, stay strong, stay positive. You are beautiful. You are loved. And I want you to go and check out, even if you're a supporter of somebody with metastatic, the new group that this wonderful group of ladies has formed for you. So we'll see you next week. And this show will be up Tuesday, Michelle. Also, we're going to.
Absolutely, Tuesday at 12.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, ladies, so much. We
Thank
adore
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.